Hi, I'm Diane Stradling. I'm here from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I'm a member of the U.S.-Cuba Normalization Conference Coalition and the Boston-Cuba Solidarity July 26th group. We are gathering here this week because the UN, the important annual vote at the UN, when Cuba comes with a resolution in support of Cuba to end the embargo and take Cuba off the state sponsor of terrorism list. Every year the world votes with Cuba and supports Cuba except for the U.S. and Israel. And we want to get the word out that the U.S. supports ending the embargo and getting Cuba off the state sponsor of terrorism list. And we are gathered to make that noise this week and to let the world know how important it is to let Cuba live. Thank you.
Hi, my name is T. Iriarte Merina. I am a member of the Cuba Sea Coalition here in New York, New Jersey. I am here at the rally so that we can call for the end to the U.S. blockade in Cuba. The U.S. has had sanctions on Cuba for over 6 decades, which has impacted the way that people can live and survive on the island. I am a descendant of both Cuban and Puerto Rican roots, and I've noticed that the blockade has a tremendous impact on the way that we can live and survive on our islands. In Puerto Rico, we have hyper-militarization happening on the island as we speak. In Cuba, we have an erroneous policy imposed by the U.S. that is strangling our people on a daily basis. There are elders that need medical supplies. There are people who need life-saving medicine. There are doctors and hospitals and people who rely on these things for their literal survival. And I want to call attention to these things, so I came out to support my comrades in doing so. Cuba sí, bloqueo no.
My name is Ed Ventura. I'm a part of HUPI, otherwise known as Juventud Unida por la Independencia, or the Youth United for Independence. I'm a part of the Bronx chapter. And we are a youth and student movement dedicated to educating, organizing, and mobilizing the masses towards a free and independent Puerto Rico. And I'll start this off by saying that our movement has been born from the fire of a dream that has burned for generations. A dream of sovereignty, of dignity, and ultimately a dream of a free, independent, socialist Puerto Rico. And I'm here to tell you that a large reason that this dream lives on, a large reason that we exist and we walk and fight on these same blocks that people did before us, is because of the unwavering fight, influence, and support of Cuba towards our movement and our revolution. For over 100 years, Cuba has been a beacon for our cause and has supported us every step of the way, in each and every way which they could. And I'll start this off with a story about an experience I had last summer, where I was stopping by labor union offices in Puerto Rico to learn more about what's going on with the workers there. And there was one particular man I spoke to where as soon as he heard independence in her name, he stopped and said, "Wait, independence? You are barking up the wrong tree. What, you want to be like Venezuela? Do you want to be like Cuba?" And I responded with, yes. Yes, in fact, I do. Because in our communities and in the media, they'll tell us that Cuba is the boogeyman, a monster to be feared. They want us to be afraid of socialism. And what it ultimately is not a fear of socialism, it's a fear of oneself. And I take this back to a quote that the great Fred Hampton once said, where I think that we've got to understand that people by the very nature are revolutionary, and we have to understand that we should not be scared of socialism. If you're scared of socialism, you are scared of yourself. You're scared of your own power, you're scared of your own capacity to care for your community and your own right to self-determination, and that is what they are truly afraid of. Because what Cuba is a shining example, living, breathing proof that very self-determination is a testament to a resistance against the very same colonialism and imperialism that strangles Puerto Ricans today, and has sought to break the spirit of Cubans for decades. And they are still here and still fighting, and for that we thank you. We stand on the shoulders of giants who understood this shared struggle. We remember the words of Jose Marti, who taught us that a just principle from the depths of a cave is more powerful than an army. We draw from the strength of Ramon Betances, who dreamed of a free Caribbean from imperialism through Spain or the United States. And we honor the legacy of Puerto Rican warriors like Juan Rios Rivera, who fought in Cuba's 10 Years' War because he knew that our fates were intertwined. He knew that a fight for Cuba's freedom was a fight for Puerto Rico's freedom. And in the spirit of that, I'll end this off with a quote from Fidel, where he said, "We shall never desert our Puerto Rican brothers and sisters, even if there are no relations within the United States for 100 years. And for that I say, Boricuas, Puerto Ricans united all across the diaspora here and on the island will continue to stand and walk and fight with you the way you have with us. We demand an end to all the blockades, all the sanctions that are preventing key medical care, that are preventing food, that are preventing infrastructure from being rebuilt. In the name of imperialism and capitalism, thank you so much. Que viva Puerto Rico libre. Que viva la revolución. Free the world from imperialism."